my name is Fizza. I'm your creative writer representative, and you are watching the RCEM channel. So nice to meet you. How are you doing?
Hi, it's nice to meet you as well.
Thank you. So to start off, I'd like to ask, what post-secondary institution did you attend, and how did it help you excel in your career?
So I attended two post-secondary institutions. The first one for my undergrad was Ryerson here in downtown Toronto. That was from 2011, and I graduated in 2015 with Bachelor of Fine Arts. And then I actually attended graduate school down in Los Angeles to further continue my studies in dramatic arts.
Oh, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can, please describe a regular day on set for you.
Sure. So it can vary depending on the day or what's necessarily called for. So a typical day will usually be around 14 to 16 hours, so long days. And for someone like me who's generally involved more with action-oriented stuff, it involves a lot of training for like a fight sequence or an action sequence. So a lot of rehearsals in the morning leading up to whatever sequence may be shot. And then, just shooting those sequences and making sure the technical aspects of that are all what the director and the producers are looking for.
Very nice. So you starred as Oscar the Swede on The Umbrella Academy. What was it like on set of the second season?
It was phenomenal. I had never been involved in a production of that scale before. So you really get a sense of how many people are involved in actualizing a project of that scale. When you're just scrolling through Netflix and you're picking a show to watch as a viewer, a lot of the fastidious aspects of the production and making it happen and sort of get lost in translation of the actual viewing experience. So to actually meet people in all the technical departments like hair and makeup and set designers and stunt coordinators and all that sort of thing, it was a real thrill because I got such a tremendous sense of how much work actually goes into developing and creating such a large scale project. So it was a phenomenal experience for sure.
Well, good to hear. What's your favorite production that you've starred in, and why is it?
I think it has to be Umbrella Academy, just because it was such a boost for my career and my confidence as an artist, and just at the stage of the career that I'm at, to have that opportunity, it was such an amplification for my confidence moving forward. So yeah, it would be Umbrella Academy for sure.
Oh, that's so good. So can we expect to see you in any upcoming TV, movie, or music releases?
So with music, yes, I've just actually finished recording an album, and that's hopefully a single will be dropping before Halloween. Hopefully the timeline works out with that. And then just sort of gradually building my audience with that. And then hopefully the full album release sometime in the new year, 2022. And in terms of film and TV projects, I've got a couple of things lined up with a few potential leads. So hopefully there will be more in that department as well.
Well, we look forward to seeing your new single.
Thank you.
So what inspired you to enter the world of entertainment and media?
Well, I come from an artistic family. My dad's a musician, so I just sort of grew up in an artistic environment, and it was incredibly supportive. So there was never really any moment, even early in my childhood, where there was sort of doubt seeping into my consciousness. It was always sort of just full steam ahead with just knowing that I had the moral support from my family, and that was a tremendous boon for me developing my craft and engaging in local theater. I come from a small town up north, and then just sort of having that confidence grow and grow, and then eventually coming to Toronto to actually pursue post-secondary education.
Oh, that's great. You also state that you're a composer. What kind of music do you compose?
So I draw inspiration from a lot of different sources. My music, particularly like with my upcoming album, it's alternative rock, I would say is the best way to describe it. It's sort of like ambient, eerie, kind of haunting rock and roll music, which is kind of what I'm interested in anyway. And it was just funny because I've always wanted and dreamed of recording an album. So when the time actually came to hear objectively to the mixes how much my influences and inspirations have kind of like seeped in and affected the way that I write music, it was very interesting to hear for sure.
Yeah. Can you name any influences that you think we might like notice in your music?
So biggest one that comes to mind, there's a super group from the States called A Perfect Circle, and it's composed of musicians from Tool, Maynard Keenan, the singer, and James Ehoff from Smashing Pumpkins. So it's very sort of kind of dark rock music and very atmospheric. And I just sort of found myself, because I asked myself that question too, just in terms of how to describe it when people ask. And I found myself listening to this album 13 Steps, and I hadn't listened to it in a very long time. And listening to it, I'm like, oh, this is very similar to, or I draw a lot of inspiration from that. So that's probably the sort of the biggest one I think I can compare it to.
That's so cool. I love when like artists, they kind of like they can see they're in like anything that they listen to, they can just find that in their own music. I feel like it's also very personal in a way. So that's really great to hear.
And it's sort of it's indicative of like this grand sphere of creativity in general and how multifaceted it is, and it's all sort of like floating around and all of us at the same time. So I always find that really cool as well.
Do you mind sharing with us your process of like creating the perfect song?
Sure. I don't know if any of my songs are perfect. They're perfect for me, I think. But so what happened was a lot of these songs are very old, and some of them are also very new. There are a couple tracks that I was writing kind of up until the day I was in the studio, and I think the oldest one is maybe 4 or 5 years old. So for me, in the instance of my album, I realized that there was a prevailing theme and tone that was sort of taking place conceptually throughout the album. So with a few tweaks here and there, I sort of discovered that all the songs kind of flow into one another very seamlessly, I'd like to think. And so that kind of helped me. It's sort of like when you're constructing a puzzle, and the more pieces you put in, the image becomes more clear. And so instead of looking at this sort of blank space and being overwhelmed by how you're potentially going to make it work, there's this image that's becoming more clear. So for me, once I realized that I had this theme and kind of what I was trying to say with the music, it became a lot more clear in the writing process, for sure.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite song that you're like looking forward for everyone to listen to?
There's a song in the middle of the track. It's more than likely going to be the single that drops before Halloween. It's called Prisoner, and I'm really excited for people to hear that. There are a couple of friends and family members I've shown the rough mixes to, and they're really taken aback by it. And I think it sort of encapsulates the tone of the album and the atmosphere of the instruments that I think it encapsulates that really well. So I'm looking forward to people hearing that.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing it too. Do
Thank
you
you.
have any industry secrets that you don't mind sharing with us?
In terms of secrets, I think the best advice I can give is to find multiple aspects of your creative consciousness that will help you grow. So for me, there are times where I was focusing just on acting, and when things may have hit a rough patch or they weren't going exactly how I may have perceived them to, I could find myself getting into a negative headspace, but I'm also, I'm a writer, I'm a musician, I'm a photographer as well. And when I found I sort of transmuted that desire to create in the acting field, but there weren't the opportunities there. And I could focus on, writing a script. I've got a few scripts on the go, or just going out and taking pictures or working on music. I found I was able to channel that desire to be creative. So the aspect of being a multidisciplinarian, just especially in just the day and age, having a bunch of different skill sets, and sort of, instead of putting all your eggs in one basket, it can only serve you going forward. And then you're kind of like a hired gun in that way. And I sort of like to think of it in that way. So if someone needs, like wedding photography done, I know I'm capable of doing that. Or if there's like an open mic at a pub somewhere, I can just go down with my guitar and do that. And so honing your skill sets that, especially with things that you love and make you happy, it can only benefit you in the future, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. What would you suggest to students who are interested in entering this industry as well?
I'd say just go for it. Listen to your heart and your mind and make sure it's what you want. But just jump in with both feet. That hesitation in that regard, it's gonna sort of hold you back and stifle that desire that you want. So just have courage and jump right in, and it's an absolute blast.
Yeah, for sure. And just to end our interview with one very fun question, what fictional character do you identify with and why?
That's a cool question. I have to think about that. It may just because I've been deep in the world, but I love the Lord of the Rings, and I've been rereading the Lord of the Rings recently. And I don't know if there's one character I can pick from that, but there's just this prevailing message of hope in that story. And I think it's very appropriate as an artist, because things can seem overwhelming sometimes. And in The Lord of the Rings, it was a very daunting task that they had to embark on. But there's just this hope that keeps the journey going. And ultimately there's that success, and that sort of keeps the fire lit in your heart. So a number of characters from Lord of the Rings, I probably say that I latch on to.
Is there like one in particular? Like if you had to choose any?
If I had to choose, probably, probably Frodo. Honestly, I think it's just the one I can sort of think of. I was thinking of Aragorn, but I'm not a king, so I don't know if that's appropriate. But yeah, Frodo, he accepts this task and goes on this journey knowing that it'll be difficult and challenging, but it's for the best, not only for him, but for the world around him. So yeah, I'd say probably one of the hobbits. Yeah.
If they ever make a remake, if they ever do, would you audition for that?
Oh, I would love to, for sure. I don't know if hopefully they'll leave Lord of the Rings be, though. I think it's pretty perfect as it is.
All right. Okay, thank you so much for joining us today for our interview. We really, really do appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
All the best in your future endeavors, and we do look forward to seeing your future projects, your future single, and your album. I, for one, am very excited to hear your album as well. So
thank you very much. I really appreciate it.